to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today I'm throwing stuff all over the place. Today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Arukas from Zentangle. I was first giggling because I I want to make a right mess of my blue paper here, and then and I'm like, oh, it does look so messy because when I go off the page, I literally go off of, or the tile, and I literally go off. And we just did some sessions with this Tangle today, and I was using a gold pen, and I see all these little shiny marks now. So anyway, you know that I'm working here when we're doing tangling. It just sometimes, Well, anyway, I'm excited to be sharing this Tangle with you. From Zentangle. It's one that I don't know, I've kind of looked at before and for whatever reason shied away from it a little bit, but it's really not that. It's a nice Tangle. It's not that hard to do, and like I said, we had a couple sessions today with my Tangle time. Is free sessions. If you are interested in joining sometime, check in the description section. I have a link to my website, which then you can just click on classes, and it it shows what the recent the upcoming ones are, and also just ways to follow if you like, and that would be lovely. All right, this one starts off with an orb. Anywhere you want to put it on your paper. Let's see. I'm gonna do a little offset, I think, again. I had been doing them kind of straight on, and I'll also share the fun that we were having with some samples at the end here. All right, so you have an orb. Then from the orb, I'm gonna go off the page, so I'm gonna continue to draw on my my blotting paper. That's the word I was searching for. And so we're just gonna put some. You call them spokes. That's what I've been calling them. But it's just a set of 2 lines. Draw one and then aura it. The nice thing about that is, about doing this is sometimes I've done this where it's like, okay, I've drawn a line, and then I'm like, well, am I too far this way or too far that way? And then you get to decide which way you want to aura it. It's a nice little safety, I guess. And I'm going to put 5 spokes down. You can do as many as you want, and in fact, you don't even have to do an orb. Let's see. Let's do here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll put one instruction. In the description section also, I have a link to step outs. And I'll have step outs that I do. And then also a link, it'll say for more inspiration. It'll be to the Zentangle newsletter where they announce this. And, I always like to share the Tangle, the step out from the creator of the Tangle, the originator, and because usually they share artwork, and so that's what's extra fun, is seeing other ways that you can use it, things that you can do with it, the decorating, as I like to call it, or embellishing, and just fun. All right, so once you have all of your spokes set, then all this Tangle really is an alternating of auraing the orb and then auraing the spokes. Now, when you aura the orb, we're going to also utilize the Halabau technique. And I said this came from Zentangle because we usually just kind of lump everyone from Zentangle together, and it's a Zentangle original Tangle. But this one is actually from Molly Halabau of the Halabau Tangle fame, and we use that technique for drawing underneath other objects. So what that is looks like this. So I'm auraing the orb, and I'm picking the distance I want, and I'm coming around trying to follow the contour, and the aura is kind of like tracing. But then when I've come here, I'm not going over it, and so what I'm doing is I'm air drawing. I like to use that phrase. So drawing, pick up the pen, travel it across, put it down on the other side, and then continue on. This one is a little bit tricky in that because we're going around and it's kind of a big distance. Well, that one didn't turn out as great as I wanted it to, but that's okay. Oh, and I just thought of something else I wanted to try with this one. But it's good to think of this as is in one thought. And when we do the Halabau tangle, which if you've never done that one, search on my channel because I do have a video on it. And it's basically straight lines. And it's just, as long as you don't have a long distance to travel your pen, it makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes going around like this, it makes it a little bit dicey, but it's still doable. And as long as you understand the concept, that's good. All right. So I have aura'd the orb. Now I'm going to aura the spokes. And a lot of times when we're auraing, it's nice to not do what I just did. And so I fight sometimes with myself. It's like going where I like it this way. Let me do it here. So I like it this way. This is like the primo way where you can see the line you're auraing and you can see your pen tip. This is a little bit more difficult because you can't, you can kind of see the line. I just don't want to flip my tile over every 2 seconds, so I'm kind of doing it this way. And I share that because if you find yourself being challenged by something like this, take a look at how you're doing it. Because if I'm finding that it's just too uncomfortable to do that, then I flip my tile and do it so it's comfortable so you can see. That's we really want to do that. His mostly objective is be comfortable, and have a relaxing experience, not a stressful experience. And speaking of that, okay, so I've done the spokes. Here's the biggest challenge with this one is for me, and especially teaching it, is not to get sidetracked until I've gone all the way around. Because then it's like, okay, let me count the number of rings or count, the number, especially as you go on further, to see where did I leave off. Because we want to keep that alternating. So I did the spokes. Now we're going to do the orb again. And something that was mentioned on one of the calls earlier was talking about, the whole, shaky hands or not having straight lines. And honestly, with this one, as with a lot of Zentangle, it doesn't matter. Let's see, and I've gone all the way. It's easier to see when you've gone all the way around with when you're doing the orb than with the spokes. Okay, now I'm going to flip back to the spokes. Say, if you're one that, if your lines, if you don't feel like your lines are straight enough, and or if you have a shaky hand, if as long as we do whatever we're doing consistently, it's going to look really neat. And the hardest thing about Zentangle is working to not worry about it. And just, kind of be happy and pleased with what we're doing, however it turns out. All right. And I've gone once around. Now let me share this. So if you do end up getting distracted and you need to find your place, one way that I found is, number one, count the rings, okay, and check, okay, have I done all of the auraing the orb? It's like, okay, yes, I've got 2 on each. And then it's like, okay, what's the last thing I did? So here, as you can see, I have the spokes are sitting on top of the curved line. So it's like, okay, the spokes was the last thing that I did. So then next we do auraing the orb again. Because that's one thing, it is sometimes easy to just get distracted. And then 2, you get to decide when you want to stop. So, if you keep going to when you kind of run out of room with the auraing the orb, and then it ends up kind of having like a star type of shape. There were some neat options for what you can do after that. So you can either just stop, or some of the things that came from our sessions today, and were to well, because you could just decorate it however you want, but to kind of continue the aura, but not it's not alternating. It's like you finish and then it's like, oh, I'm just going to finish that space with some additional curved lines, and just we had some really, really neat things. Now, if you want to see what we did, I can't promise. I'm gonna shoot to get it out this weekend. But if you subscribe to my blog, or if you go to my website, tangleaddicts.com, and where it says follow us, and then you put your email in. I always aim to send out like a recap of our of these sessions as soon after as I possibly can, but I am behind on them, so I'm going to try to maybe double up a little bit, just because it's nice to see the recap of what everyone did, and I share both sessions. We take a screenshot, and then sometimes people will either send me their work, a copy of it on email, or it's on our Facebook group, and I'll swipe it from there. Okay, now we're going to do another round here. And anyway, it's it's neat to see what everybody has done, and it's just so inspiring, and we get some really, really great ideas from it. Okay, so see, like here, well, I could probably fit another. I'm not sure, because if I put those two lines, they're going to be right next to. Oops, I had a drawing there. Now I'm not going to worry about it. But I think I might leave that one alone. And while we were going kind of in order around, when you get to a certain point, if you want to say, get everything to looking like this, regardless of how many instances we have of it, that's up to you. And so it's like, well, you could stop once you've gone all the way around, or like I said, I kind of want to see, I want to get it all to that little bit of a space. And then at this point, you don't even have to really keep going around and around as we were. You can just, I'm going to just do like this, and then I think I might leave that one there and finish that up. And then here, for a while, it's nice to go around in sequence, because that way then you see, how it's shaping up. And then you can decide. That one's just going to go right off the page. And then this one too, we'll just run this one right off the page too. Okay. And then this one, maybe just another. Kind of interesting. All right, now for some shading ideas. Number one is, well, and this is completely up to you. I'm going to do something different than I did on my samples, so that way, because I can show you there. So this one, I'm going to put a little bit of graphite on the inside of these. The aurad curved lines. The little ones are going to be a little bit more difficult, but that's okay. Now, on the ones that I'll show you in a minute, I put on the outside the graphite, and that makes the whole thing pop. Right now, what I want to do is just make these. Well, these are kind of like spokes. Even though we called these spokes, now we're calling those spokes. Just to be confusing. But I want to make them look a little bit curved. So in order to do that, we put a little graphite on either side. I'm leaving the inside open. Now you can kind of do this as well, filling in solid if you wanted to with the pen. And that, if you look at the For More Inspiration link, you will see that. And I need, oh, this one will do. All right. Woo. I don't have a smaller one. Okay. So I'm just going to push out this graphite just a little bit. I want to get it towards the center. And I'm just using kind of a straight up and down. Well, it depends. If I move the tile, and what I'm aiming to do is leave a little bit of original tile color in the center. Now these smaller ones, that's where it's just a little dicey because there's not a lot of room. And because we generally don't use erasers in Zentangle, I try to do things so I don't ever feel the need to do that. We were having fun with that with that whole notion on our call today, and if I get the replays, well, they'll be up eventually on the on my YouTube channel, as well as I'll have it on the blog. Oh, but see, look at how neat that looks. And then it pops that section out, you know, from the rest, and then this has become the background. Now you're probably wondering what the heck to do with that inside. Well, we're gonna do a little quick bonus. I'm still gonna use the graphite, although maybe not. Don't you love it for those that have been watching me regular? Don't you love it when I change my mind while I'm talking? I hope you do. I hope that's okay, because I like to have fun. It's fun to have it be fluid. And okay. And somebody also had asked about this. Ooh, it's a little light. Oh, that's much better. Okay. All right. Here's a what I'm gonna do. All right, we're gonna do a little gem in the center. So just a quick little bonus, and I'm searching for my white charcoal, which was right here. It's just hiding. There it is. Okay. So real quick, and I do have a separate video on this. One of those, I feel like I should redo it, but you know, it's still pretty good. This is Heather's way of doing gems. So what I'm going to do is you can't see this, but I'm putting some white charcoal right here. Just make it a little circle. This is where I'm considering the bottom. Now, generally, we don't worry about light source or anything like that. But with gems, it's a little, you kind of have to do a little bit. All right. And I said I was going to use this bright blue. Then I figured out how, for me to do it with just one color. And we had talked about, have I done this with the chalk? So this is the General's Pastel Chalk. And I did it with graphite on one call today, and then did it with colored pencils on another call. And so this one is going to be with the chalk pencil. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm just blending it because I want to have this nice gradient. And what happens when you put that white down, as you can see, it acts as a resist, so it resists the color. But at least with these, if you feel the need, you can go back, you know, so you can go back and lighten it up. I'm leaving, you know, this, you know, the stark white down here at the bottom, but it's one of those, you don't have to, you can do it however you want to do it. I just, for myself, wanted to be able to do them because they look so cool. And also didn't want to have as my, you know, it's kind of the inside joke that we have is it was getting to be too much like art with some of the tutorials that I had seen. But I really wanted to be able to do this because I think that they're super cool. So it's one of those where you can play with it, get it looking how you want it to look. Let me dim this light a bit. Oh, you can kind of see. It's a lot darker. Let me try it one more time here. It's a lot darker looking on in real life here. Okay, but I think you can see. Then with a white jelly roll, I'm just going to add just a couple little swish marks. One other way that I do it is I do what I call drawing eyebrows. Now with the, this is why this looks like this. Because when you're using the jelly roll on something like this, it kind of junks up the pen a little bit. So I will wipe it off, on a corner of something, but that's why having a nice little blotting mat is good. So what I did here, and I don't know why, let me try a couple things here with the light. Apologies, this is going a little bit long. Oh, you can kind of see that a little bit. I don't know why the color is being weird on this camera all of a sudden. Oh, I know. Let's change the brightness here. Oh, that helps a little bit. So you can see, so I just put with the jelly roll, just a couple little curved lines around the edge. Let me show you the samples. This is Arukas, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me show you the samples real quick. So this was from earlier. The gem I did was with graphite and the white charcoal. And this one, I put the graphite, on the outside. And then I did a little bit of graphite on the inside, but because this was a tan tile, I could take the white and put it in the center and still kind of have that curved look. And then I did some graphite on the outside of these spokes, just to kind of make it look like it's floating, and I think it does. Then, this one I still have a little bit of work to do, but this one is on a black tile, and I used gold jelly roll for doing the pattern, and then colored pencils. So I did colored pencils for the gem, and then with the micron, you can add little cracks if you want to. And then this one on these spokes, I did with the shine, we call it. So I will, with the pen, I've gone on either side, leaving that little gap in the center. This is one that kind of still working on. I'm not all completely 100% sold on the shine the way I did it because it's on the black tile. Well, I might come back and put white in there, and that would probably end up looking really, really cool. So, and I say I've used the gel, so I could use a white jelly roll, or, oh, you know what? And let me tell you this. While I have you, and while we've gone extra long on this one, here's something. So, using the jelly roll, if you're quick, because they take a little bit to dry, you can blend them. You just, like I said, you just kind of have to be quick. And you see how that's picking up that color. Oh, and let's see. And I'm using the 10, which is extra juicy. So, woo! And then I've made, oh, let me go back the other way. But you can, like I said, you can blend them because they do go on very wet. And have fun with that. So, another extra little tip that I had picked that up from the Sakura site, so it's kind of neat. But yeah, the more you work it kind of back and forth, then that helps with the blending. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, would love to have a thumbs up, the like, share it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Subscribing to the channel is free. Would love to have you be a subscriber here. Would love to also see you on a Tangle Time sometime. Take a look at the schedule on my website. I do a combination of free and paid classes. They're mostly free, but would love to have you. All right. So with that, I think that's it. I think I remembered everything. I wish you happy tangling. Thanks again for watching.